Welcome, everyone. My name is Christopher Cata, and I'll be your host for this webinar. I'm pleased to introduce you to Eleanor Silverberg. She's going to take us through this presentation on being mindful of safety for everyday senior living. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Eleanor.
Thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about a very important topic of safety for seniors. I mean, when we're younger, it's taken for granted that you're safe. Nothing's going to happen to you. At least I shouldn't say nothing's going to happen to you, but it's generally speaking, when you're young, you don't think that anything's going to happen to you. And an example of that is jaywalking. You see younger people just running in front of cars that are coming, and without even thinking that they're not going to make it through. And that really isn't safe. It isn't safe for young people. It isn't safe for older people, for anybody. But they do it anyway. But as we get older, we do get wiser when it comes to safety, and it's less likely that an older person is going to dash out, whether the mobility is good or not, is going to dash out in the middle of the street and to try to get to the other side. And so we're going to talk about more safety issues, but it's nice to know that as we get older, we do get wiser when it comes to being realistic when it comes to safety. Now, we're going to talk about safety using the 3A coping framework that I developed for people to be able to self-monitor themselves with self-awareness. The components of the 3A coping framework is acknowledge, assess, assist. Acknowledge the reality of what is happening. Assess the impact of the circumstances, and assist with strategies. For the purposes of this safety presentation, we're going to look at the 3A's in a different way, because there are different ways of using the framework. We're going to assist by acknowledging and assessing. We're going to look at being mindful, which is acknowledge, assess, assist. Assist is one of the components, and mindfulness is an assisting coping practice. And when you are being mindful, you are being present, you're paying attention, you're allowing things to be just the way they are without making any changes, which can be challenging. And we're non-judgmental. So let's look at being mindful, assisting by acknowledging and assessing. In everyday living, there are activities of daily living that we have to consider the safety. How safe are we? If you, as a senior, have balance problems, you may want to consider, or you may already have gotten grab bars for the shower stalls, or using a chair in the shower instead of standing up, depending on what the needs are. If the problem is not severe, you may not consider this. If it's just, vertigo occurs from time to time, or you may get dizzy from time to time, you may not consider that getting grab bars is necessary, but maybe think again. Assist by acknowledging and assessing what is the reality and what would be the impact if you were to fall in the shower. So the shower is one place, and showering is a daily activity that where safety needs to be considered. So be mindful. Another is in driving, being safe. Assist by acknowledging and assessing it. Can you drive at night? How's your eyesight? Would it be better if somebody else drove if you had to go somewhere? Also, for cognitive reasons, if you get confused or disoriented, is driving so safe? So assist by acknowledging and assessing, is driving safe for you? So we acknowledge and assess, and we self-monitor ourselves, because you're with yourself 24/7. So you have to be the one that really makes that decision. And that's why using the 3A coping framework to be mindful of your safety is so very important, so that you can self-monitor with self-awareness. Also, the thing to consider is, do your actions put others at risk? If, for example, a married couple, if one falls and has a fracture, that puts the other spouse at risk due to the actions, because they become a caregiver. So your actions are not only affecting yourself, but they're also affecting other people as well. And here's a gentleman on a ladder. That's another example of maybe people being resistant of what their limitations are, because often people will go on ladders and maybe put themselves at risk because they have mobility issues or safety issues. And again, is doing that, putting others at risk. So it's really something to think about, just like the young person who goes and runs in front of a car. When you're older, there are a lot of other kinds of issues that could come up that you may be resistant of, because you used to be able to do that, the activities such as going up on a ladder, driving, not having to have grab bars in the shower. So what changes need to be made? So be mindful of your safety in your daily living by using the 3A coping framework. Acknowledge your present reality, not what used to be, but what is the reality now? What are the limitations that you may have that you didn't have in the past? Assess the impact due to risk now. When you take that risk, what could be the consequence of that may put you and or others at risk? and assist by making change for your safety. And change can involve as well self-care of exercise, eating right, sleep, getting your sleep. So really be mindful and take care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eleanor. That was fantastic. If anyone has questions, you can reach Eleanor at her contact information below.